Hi, my name is Taylor, and I've textually analyzed the Make-A-Wish America Foundation's national website for this textual analysis case study. So, on the website for Make-A-Wish America, it gives us a lot of information. So, here's a little bit of background about them. They are a nonprofit organization whose mission is to grant the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions. A lot of people think that the Make-A-Wish kids are just kids facing terminal illnesses, but in fact, it also includes those who it may not be terminal, but it is life-threatening. They grant these wishes so that the kids and the families can find hope and positivity through the everyday hardships that the sickness brings. The Make-A-Wish America Foundation is supported by employees, volunteers, and sponsors, and their website gives a lot of detail on how and why the organization was created, how the wishes are made possible, and how to get involved. So, when analyzing this text or the website, I chose to do a rhetorical analysis. So these are just a couple questions that I wish to answer by doing the rhetorical analysis. I really wanted to see what about this text or website makes viewers want to volunteer, want to work with, or want to make use of the Make-A-Wish America Foundation for their kids or for a family member or a loved one that they know that is battling a childhood life-threatening medical condition. So I also want to find out what the viewers are viewing in their first experience with the text and how that's relating to them and how they're making use of that in their everyday lives. I also would like to see if the Make-A-Wish Foundation is using pathos, logos, or ethos to appeal to their families, volunteers, and future employees. And I'm also going to be using a little acronym called SOAPstone to kind of figure out, what the motive is behind the website. So that'll tell us who the speaker is, the occasion for which they're speaking, who they're speaking to, why they're even speaking about the foundation, the subject matter of which they want to speak about, and the tone that they're using to kind of get through to the people that are viewing their text or their website. So when examining the text, I did find out, and I found for myself, that the website is using pathos the most to appeal to its viewers. So pathos is appealing to emotion. So how I got this was that kind of after looking over all of the media that they had on their website, it definitely is pulling at your heartstrings a little bit. It's showing photos and videos of the previous wishes granted. It's also showing testimony from children and families who have previously worked with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and just shows you how much it's changed their lives and how positive it was, in their child's battle for health and they want to receive once again. And it also gives you easy ways to volunteer. So not that it kind of gives you a guilt trip, but it also kind of just shows you this is a remarkable organization that is helping so many families. There's so many ways to volunteer. There's so many near you. Why haven't you volunteered yet? So Make-A-Wish is definitely using pathos to appeal to its viewers and kind of just pull at the emotions that they have, because I know most people either have a child or a niece, nephew, cousin, someone that's been affected by a life-threatening medical condition. So it's easy to kind of get attached to an organization like this. So when I'm using our acronym SOAPstone, I was able to kind of decipher the motive behind the Make-A-Wish Foundation and what they were trying to do when viewers came up to their website. So the speaker in this situation is the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and they're speaking on behalf of the families and children that are affected by these life-threatening medical conditions. So the reason why and the occasion on which they want you to volunteer or sign up or nominate someone that is because there are immediate or near future occasions of volunteering or future employment opportunities, and there's also always an opportunity to kind of give someone's name and give a reference to someone that that is battling a condition, and they will be able to get a wish granted. So the audience for the website is potential volunteers, employees, and wish patients and their families. So they're really trying to appeal to pretty much everybody who can get involved and who wants to get involved to help these kids out. Their goal is kind of just to gain and maintain future and current affiliates. So not only do they want to find more volunteers and more employees, they want to keep the current volunteers and employees with them for the long haul. And they also would like to recruit more families to come and try and get wishes granted through them, because clearly it means a lot to them. So, in this situation, how, why, and when to get involved in the organization is also spoken about. It kind of gives you reason to volunteer, why you should, when you can, and how to go about that. And also, their tone for this website is very, very loving, caring, and genuine. They make it very informal, and they kind of make it seem like you're already part of the family. They use language that's very inclusive. They don't talk about them in an exclusive way whatsoever. They want to draw you in. They want you to come in. You can tell that by the language that they use in some of their posts. So when looking at the website, I was able to view it through a lens of the organizational communication theory. So according to Volpe and Jones in 2010, the organizational identity theory states that the perception of belonging in an organization is essential to the success of that organization, and it's positively correlated to one another. So the fact that the Make-A-Wish Foundation, just by looking at their website, makes potential volunteers already feel a sense of belonging within that organization. It already just sets you up for success. If you feel like you're at home and you feel like it's a family-based organization and you really do feel ties to it, then clearly the Make-A-Wish Foundation is making that possible, like I said, by using that inclusive language, showing pictures of the kids and the volunteers, showing how much fun they had, releasing news, press, documents and videos on, previous wishes that were granted and everything like that. Just kind of makes viewers already feel ties to the organization. So another reason why, when looking at this text through this theory is you can see that the alignment of personal values and corporate values are there. So that's also a very important key factor in the success and longevity of volunteers, is that their values line up. In regards to nonprofits, values and personal beliefs are what initially draws an individual to work or volunteer for the organization initially. So, if you have someone who has experienced breast cancer firsthand, they're more than likely to volunteer with a breast cancer nonprofit, or someone that has, experienced these life-threatening medical conditions with children. Obviously, they would resonate well with the message that the Make-A-Wish Foundation is trying to send. So, even the wishes themselves are varied based on child to child. It's easy to kind of identify with the children that are getting the wishes granted. They all come from different occupations, interests, sports, anything, you name it. The kids are wanting to be firefighters for a day, teachers for a day, football players for a day. So, it just kind of hits on every occupation that, potential volunteers may have and interest that they have. So a lot of kids are interested in Disney World, which I know a lot of adults are too, and they would love to help out in that area. And so sports is also a big thing. A lot of kids are interested in, playing baseball, football, basketball, being on a professional sports team for a day. And, that kind of, if a volunteer, finds out that a child is playing basketball with their favorite team, they're obviously more willing to get involved, because not only does it align with their values, but it also aligns with the personal interest that they have. I think the audience is going to respond to this text in a very positive way. I think they're going to interpret what they find in a very positive way, and I think there's a high chance that they would go and volunteer after. They see the genuine love for the work that the volunteers and the employees have, and seeing how much the families appreciate what the Make-A-Wish Foundation has done for not only their child but their family as a whole, kind of will give volunteers that sense of purpose and, feeling like they actually are changing the lives of someone else. So I think the shared meaning in all of this is that, if I volunteer or go to work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, it will more than likely produce the same amount of fulfillment and happiness that's produced for those pictured on the website or those in videos on the website that have done this in the past. So I think that, just by interpreting what they see, they are gonna get the gist that this fulfillment and purpose that people are receiving with the Make-A-Wish Foundation is also possible for them as well, and just gives you more of a reason to get involved. So the biggest question is, was the Make-A-Wish Foundation successful in their mission? So just to reiterate, their mission, I believe, was to gain volunteers, employees, and to recruit families to get their children's wishes granted, for those who are very sick. And so did the Make-A-Wish Foundation do that job? I think yes, I think they did a great job on kind of using pathos to relate to people that are viewing their website. And so I think, when asked would I volunteer, yes. I actually have been a volunteer for the Make-A-Wish Foundation for about 4 years now. That's kind of why I was initially drawn to this website and this text. I wanted to see what it was about it, coming from an outside perspective. So just being in the Make-A-Wish Foundation and helping out for a long time, I've kind of gotten the inside scoop and the feel for what really goes on, and it's an awesome organization. So it was very interesting to kind of look at it from, rewinding and pretending like I had never helped out with the organization, and just seeing what new members see was very insightful. So, another reason why I think that they were so successful, and why this was even important, was because according to Siegel and Robinson, this year, participating in charity work can improve health and happiness by connecting individuals with similar thoughts and values and bringing fulfillment to their everyday lives. So this was important just because, that fulfillment and health and happiness is imperative for every single person, that is walking the earth. What more do you want than health, happiness, and fulfillment in your life? I mean, it just kind of increases morale. It makes you have a better day. You're better at your job. You're nicer to your family. I just feel like charity work in general is such an important aspect that everybody should have in their lives. And so that's really why this was important. And so I hope you guys, kind of were able to go through the website and the text like I was able to. And if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. I'd love to answer them. And if you are interested in volunteering with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, I highly recommend it. Here below is listed, I had a few references in regards to the PowerPoint, and my paper has a little bit more. So if you're interested, just please feel free and go back and read the method and, kind of reasoning for the paper. Thank you so much.